Kamala Harris is intensifying her Hitler campaign strategy. She thinks that's going to persuade you to vote for her. What are you going to do about food? Hitler. What are you going to do about the price of utilities? Hitler. How about the border? Hitler. She learned a new name. Now, she doesn't know a damn thing about Hitler. But I'm calling out Jonathan Greenblatt, the head of the Anti-Defamation League, a Barack Obama lapdog. Is there a reason why Mr. Greenblatt, head of the Anti-Defamation League, that you are not relentlessly, loudly condemning Kamala Harris and her Hitler campaign strategy? Is there a reason why you're not speaking out and denouncing the American media, Harris and the Democrats, for accusing tens of millions of Americans for effectively being Nazis? Is there a reason why you're sitting there silently at the Anti-Defamation League? You're the wrong man for the job there, brother. An Obama lapdog. That's not who you put in charge of an organization like that. But don't worry, he's there running to defend some guy, Mehdi Hassan. Mehdi Hassan, a well-renowned Israel hater, an anti-Semite, certainly in my opinion, but in the opinion of many. Why did CNN give Mehdi Hassan a platform yesterday? Now, that question's not asked by Dan Abrams, another phony fraud and fool. Dan Abrams, the Jerry... What was his name? What was that guy's name? Cable guy. Springer, that's right. Jeez, his name escaped me. I wonder why. The Jerry Springer of Court TV. What's he on, News Nation or something like that? Or uses that Gorilla Glue to keep that squirrel glued to his head. But anyway, that's a whole other story. Not a word. Over there at Mediocreite, people keep sending me their link, so I put it up there. Great. Do you see these bastards, what they have to say? Yeah. They have to analyze what took place on the stage, and I'm thinking, why is that Mehdi Hassan there? He's a Qatarian mouthpiece. Qatar is a terrorist organization. Qatar is where Hamas leadership that's still alive lives in billions of dollars in lavish luxury. Qatar is who funded October 7th, them and the Biden administration through Iran. And this guy's on CNN. CNN is notoriously anti-Semitic, even though it has Jews there. It has Jews there for window dressing. Jake Tapper, Dana Bash, and so forth. You might recall that's the network that called me anti-Semitic. You believe that, Mr. Producer? Remember that? I'm anti-Semitic. That's why you can't believe anything that comes out of their trash mouths. But they give a form to this guy. Go on my social media sites, particularly on Twitter, and you will see a number of things this guy has said and done. But there he is. He's effectively calling everybody at Madison Square Garden a Nazi. And this guy, who I don't know who's there as a guest, he doesn't like it. So he makes a joke. Bad joke, but a joke. Oh, my God, he's fired on the spot. Not that he wants anything to do with them. They make a big thing out of it. They put out a release. We don't tolerate stuff like this. We don't tolerate discrimination and bigotry. Oh, yes, you do. CNN in Greek means tolerance for bigotry. Did you know that, Mr. Producer? CNN, that's what it means in Greek. Did you know that? But it's true. Very, very important to understand. Now, my wife and our friend are campaigning as I speak in a Hispanic community in Virginia, specifically in Sterling, Virginia. I think they have finished as the sun has gone down, pretty much. She speaks fluent Spanish, which she learned as a little kid. That's really the only way to learn these languages, to tell you the truth. And he does, too. He has a Cuban background. He speaks fluent Spanish as well. So they're going door to door. And she told me today, listen to this, the vast majority of doors we knocked on and people we met are for Trump. You got that, Mr. Producer? It's a heavy Hispanic community. They're for Trump. And I said, there's many reasons, I think, that they're for Trump. Number one, not all, but many of them are practicing Catholics. They don't believe in abortion on demand, abortion in the birth canal, and all the rest of it. That's number one. Number two, these are people of faith for the most part. That is, they're law-abiding citizens of the United States. We're not. And number three, they see the Venezuelan gangs. They see the Salvadoran gangs, MS-13. There's some confusion. If I'm from Peru or Honduras or Guatemala, or if I'm from Puerto Rico or Cuba, I don't identify, quote-unquote, as a Hispanic any more than the Italians or the Germans or the Russians view themselves. Oh, look at me, I'm a European. That's not how people view themselves. Oh, I'm a European. Oh, I'm a Hispanic. Or even white. Oh, I'm white. Oh, I'm black. No, people have connections to their history. You're black, some to the Caribbean, some to Africa, some to other parts of the world. You're Jewish, same thing, different parts of the world. You have different connections. It's not just this blah that the government and the politicians and the media and the left-wing Democrats want to stick you in. I'm going home to my ancestry. Where is that? Jewish? No, that doesn't even make any sense. I'm going home to my ancestry. Where's that? Europe? That doesn't make... Going home to my ancestry. Where's that? Latino? Excuse me? I'm going home to my ancestry. Where's it? Black? Well, that's not an ancestry. Exactly. That's an ethnic identification, but that's not an ancestry. Anyway, without splitting hairs, although it's not splitting hairs, but I want to move on. So I think a lot of these folks from different parts of the world who have emigrated legally to the United States, who have become citizens, they love the country. They've escaped poverty, crime, tyranny, whatever it is. And these are Americans. Americans from different parts of Central and South America, other parts of the world, who have their roots here now and have their kids here now. That's different than people who are crossing the border illegally now and are gang members, international gang members. And they don't like it. You want to know why? All communities are affected by this. All. But especially theirs. We'll see. Now, it's amazing to hear the Democrat Party talk about Nazis. It's amazing to hear about them talk about neo-Nazis. What's Bernie Sanders? What is he? Israel's at war. They're surrounded on 7 fronts. You've heard me talk about this till I'm blue in the face. And I'm an olive skin American. I need representation. Should I start an olive skin American organization, Mr. Producer? That's right. Olive skin Americans. We don't get the recognition and representation that we deserve. Anyway, so I've told you before the history of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, as a young man, went to Israel and joined a kibbutz. Now, there's different types of kibbutz. They're very liberal kibbutz for the most part, but some of them are Marxists. Many of them are not. But even among the Marxists, there was one in particular that was just way too crazy. It was Stalinist. A Stalinist kibbutz. Communal. Basically what it is. And Bernie Sanders joined that kibbutz. And spent time on that kibbutz. Now, as you know from listening to this show, if you're a Marxist, you're not a person of faith, because Marx believed in the destruction of faith. In fact, he despised faith. He believed it was an ancient sort of mysticism that interfered with the progress of human beings. The progress of human beings required human beings, of course, to re-engineer human beings, which has resulted in 100 million dead people. But we'll put that aside for Bernie. You know, he's a man of the people. He believes in the little guy. As long as we can have Medicare for all, everything's great. But when we come back, I want you to hear what he had to say. Because this dumb bastard has just said what I've been telling you they're going to do. God forbid, should this Kamala Harris and her circle of jihadis and Marxists take power over the greatest country on the face of the earth. I am telling you, this election's between good and evil. This election's between the ruling class and we the people.